Hello everyone, just a quick intro to the video, just to explain kind of why these are up so late. I had every intention of uploading these as soon as I'd recorded them, which is about 2 weeks ago now, but as with a lot of things, life got in the way, so I couldn't upload them. Just didn't get around to doing it. But hoping now that we can get back up to regular uploads, bi-weekly as usual. So this video that you'll be seeing this intro for should be my next video of my Blu-ray collection, which I believe is the L's. And then I've also done an extra themed video, which will be going up some point next week. I will also be picking back up on the watch pile from Tuesday, I think, although only one film has been picked so far. So if you haven't voted, go back to my last watch pile video and let me know what you want to see me watch next, because at the moment there is only one film, so I won't even be doing a draw because that's the only film to choose from. Yeah, just wanted to explain before the video started why I'll probably be wearing something different, and basically explain the absence a little bit. But yeah, that is it. So enjoy the video. Hello everyone, welcome to a new video on the channel. Today's video, well actually before I get started, I'll say I'm going to try and record 2, maybe 3 videos today, so you've got some videos for the next few weeks, just so I've got videos for every Saturday, really. Yeah, so this video you should see this coming Saturday, and then I'm going to do another video which I may just put up as a bonus video at some point. And yeah, I think those are the only 2 that I've got planned. There may be something else that I'm forgetting. But yeah, this video is the next video in my collection series. This is the L's. So I'm going to get straight on with it, because otherwise we're going to be here all day. First up is a film that I really like. It's a great film of its kind, and it's got great actors in it. And that's Ladder 49 with Joaquin Phoenix and John Travolta. I love these sort of old, early noughties touchstone films. And this bears a lot of similarity to like Backdraft, that sort of thing. About firefighters and what they do. And yeah, it's a good film, very powerful film, but it's also very sad as well. Next up, someone that we lost very recently and is still not completely hit me yet, because it's someone that I just thought would live forever, and it's just been quite a big shock, probably the biggest, or not biggest, the celebrity death that affected me the most in the last year or so, and that is the lady in the van, Maggie Smith, who was absolutely excellent in this, as she was in everything that she did. This was one of her last big lead-in performances. She did do a few films after this, a fair few films after this, but I think this was probably, just trying to think, probably her last leading role, because I think all the other films she's done, she's been either more supporting, or she's been like part of a ensemble lead sort of thing. But yeah, great film based on a true story about Mrs. Shepherd, who was a woman that just pulled up in writer Alan Bennett's van in the 70s, and she stayed there for 15 years. Yeah, really good film. If you like British films, definitely recommend that one. Next up, we have one that a lot of people really don't like. A lot of people say this is M. Night Shyamalan's worst film, but I am in the minority in saying I really like it. I like these sorts of films. That is Lady in the Water with Paul Giamatti and Bryce Dallas Howard. Also has M. Night Shyamalan in it, Jared Harris, Jeffrey Wright's in it. It's my type of film. It's not going to be, I can see why a lot of people don't like it. It's fantasy, but from what I've heard people say that don't like it, is this was advertised wrong. It was advertised as a completely different film in the trailer, and it's not, so people were expecting to get something and they didn't. I liked it. Like I said, really like Paul Giamatti. I like these sorts of stories. And yeah, it's just one that I overall really enjoy. Then we have another one that I really enjoy, The Lake House, Sandra Bullock, Keanu Reeves. Just a great romantic drama about two people that fall in love, but they, they live in 2 years apart, but they write letters to each other and send them from the lake house that they both own in the different times, and they try to meet somehow in the middle, that sort of thing. It's a love story. Got Christopher Plummer in it as well. Who else is in it? Yeah, Christopher Plummer's the only other big name in it. But yeah, they're great. They've got great chemistry. It's a good film. It's one that I like to put on. It's an easy watch. Yeah, that's The Lake House. Then we have Larry Crowne, Tom Hanks, Julia Roberts. I get a really feel-good film. If you've not seen this, I definitely recommend checking this out. I've seen this a few times now. It just really puts you in a good mood. It's about Tom Hanks, who's middle-aged, and he just loses his job that he's had for a long time. So he decides he's going to start over again, and he enrolls himself in college, where he meets Julia Roberts, who plays his I can't remember, it's a weird subject. It's like philosophy or something like that. I can't remember though. And they fall in love. And yeah, it's just Tom Hanks trying to find out how to live again, that sort of thing. It's just a really feel good film, and they've obviously got great chemistry with each other. So yeah, that's Larry Crowne. Then we have Last Christmas. I try and watch this every year. Really like this. Again, it's one of those films that not everybody loves, but I like these sorts of films, and it's a British Christmas film, and I love Wham, and it's got all this Wham music, and Emma Thompson, she's great in it. Michelle Yeoh's great in it. Yeah, it's just what you want from a Christmas film, and I personally really enjoy it. Then we have Lady Bird, Greta Gerwig's first film, I believe. Fantastic film. That I would say, which a lot of people wouldn't say, is her most popular film, is my least favourite film, and that's Barbie. But I still enjoy Barbie. I still think it's a great film. But Lady Bird and Little Women I think Little Women was my favourite film from 2019. This was 2017, and this is definitely in my top 5 films of that year. She just really knows how to craft a great story with a great cast. And yeah, it's just a fantastic coming of age film, Lady Bird. Then we have a classic, LA Confidential, great noir film with a great cast: Russell Crowe, Guy Pearce, Kevin Spacey, Kim Basinger, James Cromwell, David Strathairn is in it as well. And it's just a really great classic 90s noir film, as I say, and yeah, a great thriller as well. So yeah, that's LA Confidential. Cool. Lots of good ones in The Elves, The Last Castle. Another fantastic film, probably my favourite Robert Redford film, or if not one of them. Really surprised me, this one. You've also got James Gandolfini, Mark Ruffalo, and Delroy Lindo in this, and it's basically set at this prison for basically military. I don't know what they call it. It's like a military prison. That's what it is. And Robert Redford's in there because he basically defied an order from the president, so they imprisoned him for it. And the warden is played by James Gandolfini, who's brutal. And they basically start trying to stand up to the warden and revolt. And it's just a brilliant, brilliant film. Again, one that I could put on any time. Robert Redford is absolutely fantastic in this. This is one of the films that when they announced it on Blu-ray, I was so happy, because it was a film that I never thought we would see on Blu-ray, and now I think it's even on 4K in America. So there was this, and at the same time it came out at the same time, The General's Daughter, which is one of my favourite John Travolta films as well, which you'll see later on in a later video. But The Last Castle. Then we have The Last Duel, Ridley Scott. Yeah, it was okay, decent film. I like these sorts of films. Ridley Scott's good. I preferred this over House of Gucci the year it came out. But yeah, decent watch. Last Letter from Your Lover, one that I think is on Netflix, might be. I don't know if it is a Netflix film, but I think it's on Netflix. I don't think it had much of a cinema run here because it came out in 2020 during the pandemic. But it's a love story. You got Felicity Jones, Shailene Woodley, Callum Turner, Joe Alwyn. Yeah, and it's just set in two different times. Yeah, I believe this is, what's his name? Ben something from Chariots of Fire. Ben Cross, I think his name is. Chariots of Fire, which I am going to watch tonight. This was his final film before he passed away, or one of his final films. I think he did that horror film Pray for the Devil as well. But yeah, it's a really good film if you like your romantic dramas, one that I recommend. Then we have The Last Samurai, one of my all-time favourite films, my second favourite Tom Cruise film, probably my favourite war film, just epic on every level. You've also got Billy Connolly in this, who's fantastic. Timothy Spall is excellent in this. Ken Watanabe, just incredible film this is. Not seen this, definitely recommend, even if you're not a fan of Tom Cruise. If you love your war films, this is an absolute must watch, The Last Samurai. Then we have a Christmas film, which came out, a Sky original, which came out a few years ago. Blind Buy for me. Thought, why not? Last Train to Christmas, which I think I've very briefly reviewed in a previous video, probably a pickups video or something. Love this film. This is going to be an every year watch. Really surprised me. I really like Michael Sheen anyway, but it's just a great story. The way it's told is just excellent because there's nothing really like this. It's basically about Tony Towers, played by Michael Sheen, he's got it all. He's got the girlfriend, played by Natalie Emmanuel. He's got the best life. He very successful businessman. He's a nightclub manager, a celebrity. He's got everything. But when he gets on this train for a Christmas family reunion, and basically every time he goes through one of the carriages, he travels backwards and forwards in time. It's just a brilliant film. I love these sorts of films. It's just got a great message. Brilliant film. We've got Cary Elwes, who plays his brother in this, who's excellent, and it's just a really feel-good film. You've got a very small performance from Hayley Mills as well, who I think plays his mother. Yeah, I think she plays his mother or his aunt or someone. John Thompson, who's a great British actor. Catherine Kelly's in this as well. Just a really great British Christmas film. If you're not bothered about buying it, if you've got Sky Cinema, I'm sure it'll be on there this Christmas. Sky can, when they want to, knock out some excellent Christmas films. They also did one a few years ago. I think it was called This Is Christmas, and it had who was in it? Oh bugger, I forgot. Timothy Spall was in it. I know Timothy Spall was in it, but I can't remember who else was in it. But I remember really enjoying that one as well. Again, I think that was about a group of commuters on a train that decide to have a Christmas party, I think. I really liked that one. And there was another one, The Heist Before Christmas, that was last year. That was Timothy Spall as well and James Nesbitt. But yeah, I'm not going to babble on any longer. Sky knock out some great Christmas films, and that is one of them. Then we have Law Abiding Citizen, great thriller with Gerard Butler and Jamie Foxx. Really brutal as well. Classic Lawrence of Arabia. Watched this for the first time a few years ago on Christmas Day. It took me all afternoon to watch it, but I persevered, and it's just a fantastic film. I can see why this is Steven Spielberg's favourite film and why it influenced him to become a director, because it is a seminal film in movie history and just excellent on every level. Leon, Great action film from the 90s, put Luc Besson on the map, put Jean Reno on the map, and Gary Oldman, I suppose you could say as well. All three are now, well, Jean Reno's kind of disappeared, but he was excellent back in the 90s and noughties. Just a really great action assassin film. Let Him Go, Kevin Costner, Diane Lane, a revenge thriller where they're trying to get their grandson back from their daughter's husband's family, who are horrible. Leslie Manville is fantastic in this, and yeah, if you like your thrillers, if you like Kevin Costner, definitely one to watch. Then the last of this pile, this was the biggest pile though, Le Mans 66, Ford v Ferrari. Again, love these sorts of films. Really like James Mangold as a director. Matt Damon, Christian Bale. Yeah, again, one of my favourite films of 2019. I remember seeing this at the cinema and just absolutely loving it. I love these when they go out and they make these sorts of films, because it's very rare we get films like these nowadays, but when we do, I really appreciate it. Moving on, we have the Lethal Weapon collection. So this is all the Lethal Weapon films in a very nice box. So I'll quickly just say my thoughts on each of them. The first one is a great film. Yeah, obviously one of the best buddy cop films out there, written by Shane Black. Then you got the second one, which is probably the most forgettable one for me. I can't really remember much about that one. Then the third and the fourth one, they kind of bring comedy into it a bit more, which I personally like. I know a lot of people don't like the third and the fourth one, but with the introduction of Joe Pesci in the third one, and then in the fourth one, you've also got Rene Russo, Chris Rock, and Jet Li as the villain. I really like it. I think it works for me. It's what I want. But all four great films, ones that I definitely need to go back and rewatch soon. Liar Liar, one of my favourite Jim Carrey films. Fantastic film, makes me laugh every time. Licorice Pizza, great Paul Thomas Anderson film, up there with like Boogie Nights and Magnolia, that sort of thing. Set in 1970s San Fernando Valley, about a young boy who falls in love with a girl that's quite a bit older than him. And yeah, it's just about their life and what they get up to. And you got some great supporting performances in this from Sean Penn, Bradley Cooper, Benny Safdie, Tom Waits. Just great film. Then we have Life as We Know It, a really good like family drama, sort of romance type thing about two people who have to come together to look after their goddaughter when her parents die in a car crash. They don't get on with each other, and they've known each other for years, but they've got to learn to like each other, and eventually maybe even more than that. Yeah, great film, that one. Then we have Life of Brian. I love Monty Python. I say that this is the only Monty Python film I've seen. I really should get around to watching the other Monty Python films, because I just love them as a group. I think they're hilarious, and there's some fantastic memorable lines in this, a lot of which can't really say on YouTube, not nowadays. Couldn't get away with half of the stuff that they do in this film nowadays, but it's a brilliant film nonetheless. Then we have The Life of David Gale, very powerful film about death row and the death penalty, and kind of why it's a very flawed system. It's a very interesting film. You've got Kevin Spacey, who plays an activist for abolishing the death penalty, and he himself finds himself given the death penalty and on death row. And Kate Winslet plays a journalist that is trying to find out the truth, what really happened. You've got an excellent supporting performance from Laura Linney in this, who plays another activist that helps Kevin Spacey. Just a fantastic film, great performances in this, and it is heartbreaking, the ending, and it really hits home. The Life of David Gale. Then we have Life of Pi, beautiful looking film, really good film, one that I remember seeing at the cinema. Yeah, just a great film that must in the collection. Life of the Party. Yeah, this is okay. Nothing special. It's a Melissa McCarthy film. I've got quite a lot of her films in my collection because I do quite like her. It's funny. I do enjoy it. I do find it funny, this one. Um, yeah, this is an American import, although for some reason it's in a thicker case, which is weird for an American import. Comes with the DVD and the Blu-ray. But yeah, decent watch. The Light Between Oceans. Can't comment much on this because I have seen it a long time ago when it first came out, and I can't really remember anything about it. Lights Out, great little horror film. Teresa Palmer, Maria Bello, David F. Sandberg. Just a really creepy, edge of your seat type horror film with just a great story, great premise. Lights Out. Limitless, really good film with Bradley Cooper, Robert De Niro about a pill, NZT, and when you take it, it unlocks all of your brain, but lots of problems happen. Let's just leave that there. Lincoln, obviously a biopic about Abraham Lincoln. Steven Spielberg, Daniel Day-Lewis won his Oscar for this film, his third Oscar, I think. Yeah, great film, that one. Then we have Lion, really like this one, based on a true story about a young boy who gets separated from his brother and ends up homeless for a long time. He then gets adopted by an Australian couple, and years later, when he's a grown adult, he's trying to find where he came from, trying to find his mother and his brother, find out what became of them, what happened. Beautiful film. Dev Patel is excellent in this, as is Nicole Kidman as his adopted mother. Lisa Frankenstein, one of the highlights, surprises of this year so far for me. Love this film. It has like a sort of Tim Burton but not Tim Burton thing going about it. That sort of thing, but it's its own thing. It's set in the 80s about a young girl who kind of doesn't fit in, and she falls in love with this character. He's not got a name, I don't believe, who's dead, who's a zombie, and she's trying to bring him back to life by doing some pretty shady things, and there are some hilarious sequences in this. Directed by Zelda Williams, who's obviously the late great Robin Williams' daughter. I think this is her first film, I might be wrong. Brilliant, can't wait to see what she does next. Going on to the last part, I've been going on far too long now. Little Fockers, the only one I've got, unfortunately, is the weakest one of the trilogy, but the other two are quite out of print, so hard to get hold of. But nonetheless, still enjoy that one. Little Miss Sunshine, fantastic film. Greg Kinnear, Toni Collette, Steve Carell, and the late Alan Arkin, as well as Abigail Breslin, who I believe was nominated for an Oscar for her performance in this, one of the youngest ever. But yeah, really good film, and if you like this, I would also recommend The Way Way Back, which also, funnily enough, has Steve Carell in. Similar sort of story, I suppose. But yeah, that's Little Miss Sunshine. The Little Things, I'm the only one that seems to enjoy this, but I love these sorts of films, and the cast is great in this. The story's a bit thin, a bit weak, but as I say, I love these sorts of films, and they very rarely get made nowadays, so I was just happy that we have one of these. Little Woman, as I was saying, my favourite film of 2019. Probably just put this over Lady Bird. Just loved this, and I was late to the party on this. I didn't watch this until the lockdown, and it's just a really feel-good film, really good story. Yeah, Little Women. Then we have Live by Night, Ben Affleck directed it as well, about a outlaw and kind of trying to atone for his sins, I suppose you could guess. He wants to start a family, that sort of thing. It's been a while since I watched it. Definitely one I need to watch again. But it's upside down. It's strange. But it's one that I do remember enjoying when I saw it. I've seen it twice, I think, when it came out. Bloody hell. And Jesus Christ, back in the day, HMV, it was in the 2 for 25. I think you could probably get it for about £2 now. London Has Fallen, the second of the Has Fallen trilogy films. Yeah, I'd say this is probably... it might be my favourite. Yeah, I do quite like this one. Yeah. The Long Kiss Goodnight, great 90s action Christmas film with Gina Davis and Samuel L. Jackson, directed by Rennie Harlin, who at the time was married to Gina Davis. Long Shot, great romantic comedy, one of the best in recent years. Yeah, if you like your rom-coms, definitely one to watch. Lord of War, about Yuri Orlov, the gunrunner, arms dealer, whatever you want to call him. Nicolas Cage, great in this. They're supposed to be doing a sequel, which I think is called Lords of War, very creative, which more follows him and his son. And I believe one of the Skarsgård brothers, I want to say Alexander Skarsgård, has been cast as his son. Don't know when that's happening though, because I don't think it's even started filming yet. Love Actually, another Christmas staple every year, just a great British film as well. We have Love and Mercy, really underrated biopic about, what's his name, Brian Wilson of the Beach Boys. Very sad life he had. I believe his wife passed away this year or last year. And in this she's played by Elizabeth Banks. You've got Paul Giamatti, who plays, I think he plays his agent or his manager. And Paul Dano plays a younger version of him. Really good film, really powerful film. John Cusack's great as Brian Wilson. Yeah, good film that one is. Then we have Love and Monsters, one that went straight to Netflix over here, but I love, so I got it. I think this is the German import. Yeah, it's got German age ratings on it. One that I do need to go back to. A few more. Love and Other Drugs. As you know, Jake Gyllenhaal's my favourite actor, and I just really love this film. Just think it's a great film. I think it's set in the 90s about he's a Viagra salesman, and he meets Anne Hathaway's character, and they kind of start a no strings attached sort of thing. Yeah, good funny film, that one. Three more. The Lovely Bones, really powerful, hard-hitting film. Saoirse Ronan, Mark Wahlberg, Rachel Weisz, Susan Sarandon, and one of the creepiest performances I've ever seen from Stanley Tucci. Really creepy, really unsettling. Every time he's on screen, you're kind of scared because he's got a very scary and creepy presence in this film. But he's just goes to show how terrific an actor he is. It's not an easy film to watch, but it's a great film. I have got the book, which I need to read at some point. But yeah, that's The Lovely Bones. Then we have The Love Punch, which is a really good British comedy with a great cast. As you can see, you've got Pierce Brosnan, who's one of my favourites, Emma Thompson, who's one of my favourites, Timothy Spall, who's also one of my favourites, and you guessed it, Celia Imrie, who's another one of my favourites. So 4 of my favourite British actors in one film together, and it is hilarious. It's a hilarious film. It's about 4 friends who... basically a French financier steals something from them in order to buy a diamond ring for his future bride, and they agree to work together with their 2 friends, played by Timothy Spall and Celia Imrie, to go and steal the diamond back. It's just hilarious. It's hilarious. I love this film. One of my favourite British films, The Love Punch. And finally, one of the ultimate love films of all time, maybe the ultimate love film, or you could say the ultimate love story. See what I did there? Yeah, Love Story, just a fantastic film. Yeah, love means never having to say you're sorry. What a great line. Great performances from the late Ryan O'Neill and Annie McGraw, who was great in this. Very sad film, but a great film. Yeah, really good film, that one. So that is it. Sorry this has gone on nearly half an hour. I definitely rambled quite a bit there. So if you have made it to the end, well done. You definitely deserve a medal because, yeah, I talk nonsense a lot of the time, and I do apologise, but sometimes I just don't know when to stop, and I just keep talking and talking. God knows what I would be like on a live stream. I'd be on the same point for like 10 minutes. But yeah, still glad that I got to show you all of that. So yeah, as I say, I'm going to do another video now, which is a bit of a different video, but and it may not be a long video, because it's sort of like an, well, I won't say who, but it's an actor collection video, one of my favourite actors. Yeah, so I'm going to do that so I can recommend some more films, hopefully, that you may not have seen. But yeah, that is it for this video. So have you got any of these? Are there any that you think I'm missing? Let me know down in the comment section below. Don't forget to like the video if you liked it. Subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. Turn the notification bell on so you know when I have a new video uploaded to the channel. Comment down below anything and everything. As you know, I get back to anyone that takes the time to leave me a comment because I really do appreciate it. And that is it. So until next time, everyone, take care. Goodbye.